Greetings. This is the Getto Free Press, and I'm George Boss-Durines. I'm in Valdosta, Georgia. This morning I was called by Bobby Worthy from Waycross, Georgia, and he told me about what was posted on Facebook. And he sent me some pictures, which I'm going to share in this video at some point. And we have several pictures here that we'll get into later. And after I looked at these pictures, I went on to McDonald's, get me a cup of coffee, and it looked like a Latino guy just walked over. I had met him some years earlier, and he said to me, "Have you heard what happened out to Jacuzzi?"
It was Bathcraft.
I later found out that it was Bathcraft and not Jacuzzi, but he said you need to see what's going on. And so you all know me. I'm not like your mainstream news media who push things under the rug. I did my homework. I went to Jacuzzi. I met with the clerk, and the head person in there was not at the plant, but she said that that was the wrong place. And so we went to Bathcraft, but since we wasn't sure of what was going on, we said, well, we need to contact some live bodies so we can find out what these pictures are all about. So today, we met because we have some concerned citizens. And so if you don't mind, again, I'm George Boss-Durines. I'm the Getto Free Press, Boston G.B.R. on YouTube, website georgebostondurines.com or bostongbr.com. And look here. Now I want you to listen and let some individuals talk to you about these pictures. I can't talk about them because I don't know a damn thing about it. And what's your name?
My name is Daryl Lamar Davis.
And
Senior.
okay, and was you the one that I talked to this morning?
Yes, sir.
You called me, right?
Yes, sir.
I didn't call you, did I?
No, sir.
Why did you call to Getto Free Press?
Because it was action needs to be took, and no one would lead me to the right, direct path. So when someone called me named Bobby, told me to get in touch with you, we can go a little further with this. I did.
Okay. Now, what do you see wrong at this company, and do you still work at? And if not, why not?
I don't work there anymore because how they were getting treated. I mean, it was a thing about the pay and about all the hours, And I lost my sister. This doing probably like a month ago, 2 months ago, and I had to worry about I was job scared the whole time of the the grieving. At the funeral, I'm trying to get in touch with them, seeing I'm lost my job or not, and when stuff going on like that, don't supposed to happen like that, And like I said, man, just
okay. So when you call me, you had posted something on Facebook, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, since you was the one that sent those to, that Bobby got from you, or he got them from you some kind of way.
Right.
Well, you may need to start at one and explain to what was going on there, and what do you have copies of there?
Okay. This is at AQUATIC in Valdosta, Georgia. It's a lynch and an American flag.
So when you say a lynch, you saying a noose, right?
A noose, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And why do you think someone would put that in a building right in front of the United States flag?
I couldn't say there's a lot of racism going on there.
You think a lot of racism there?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's one of the reasons I left there, because I was current in the office with 4 guys, which I could have put my supervisor or anything in, but they wouldn't let me do that. And they talked to me very badly. That's the reason I left.
Mm-hmm. When they talk real bad, what you mean by saying they talk you real bad?
I've been at Bathcraft, 6.5, 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of experience. Mm-hmm. And I went in there, to talk about my pay rate, which my pay rate was at $10, which I was told that if I came back, that in 90 days that I would get a pay raise. Mm-hmm. Okay? Which we're going to talk about. They gave the whole finish line a pay raise and took it back less than 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And, I'm telling them, asking them, like, am I going to get that raise that y'all promised me at 90 days? They told me no, I won't get the raise because they ain't making enough profit.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. You was employed there before.
Yes, sir.
Explain that a little bit to us.
I was there.
How many years and that type of thing?
I was there, 4.5 years the first time I was there.
Okay. And what were your ending pay when you left?
When I left there, it was like $13.75.
Okay.
So, and when I came back, like I said, they told me they was going to start me with $10, which I was very fine with that. But when they told me 90 days, I get my, right pay that I was going to be getting, I was okay with that too. And my 90 days came up, which nothing changed. And I had a meeting with plant manager, his boss man, and another guy from Texas. And like I said, nothing didn't change. I told them about all the experience I had, and they pretty much told me my experience don't mean nothing.
And when you say experience, you had experience in what?
And a building bathtub as in fiberglass work. Finishing.
Okay, because you had been there before.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, now, when you look at those pictures, and we want to close this out, but when you look at those pictures, who do you want to see those pictures, and what do you think can be done?
I want the world to see the pictures. Mm-hmm. Because we shouldn't have to work, we shouldn't have to work like in this, in this kind of thing. We shouldn't have to do this. Mm-hmm. And, people talking to us like we're still in slavery.
Well, okay, I read that online. And what you mean they talk to you like that? They talk to everybody out there like that? The people that still working there, they still talk to them like that?
Yes, sir. I have people that still work there as in today. Mm-hmm. That's waiting to get off to talk to you. Mm-hmm. And, man, they talk to everybody like either...
Job scared.
Yeah, you're pretty much job scared. You either show up or you can go on about your business. Okay. And when I heard you ask Kevin Wade on the interview, you asked him about the benefits. Okay, they give us insurance. Yes, they do. But, I can't use my insurance. I'm on a point system that if I miss a day, I'm scared. I'm job scared. I'm probably going to get fired or pointed out. Mm-hmm. So, you're giving me something I can't use. Mm-hmm.
So, do a lot of people turn over fast?
Yeah, turnover.
They don't stay there that long?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. Nah.
And everybody there pretty near scared?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now, you the second person that I'm interviewing.
Right.
And we about to close this out. But what I want you to tell me is what I want you to tell me, I can edit all that out. I don't know why I think I got it still called. It's still right. I cut it off. Anyway, we're going to cut a minute call, take some of these calls. I want to get you to close you out before I finish it. Yeah. Have you ever filed a complaint about discrimination or EEOC, a bad work environment, or something wrong with your wages, anything like that? Have you ever filed a complaint?
Sir, there's been a lot of complaints signed, and I don't ask for a lot of paperwork that never get to corporate ever.
Okay. Do you have any copy of your paperwork that you've written to them?
The only paperwork I have is with Bathcraft.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. They have it.
You don't have a copy of it?
No, sir. I don't have a copy of it.
Okay. All right. So, thank you very much. And what's your name again?
My name is Darryl Lamar Davis.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
excuse me, what's your name?
My name is James Joyce.
And James Joyce, where did you work?
I formerly worked at Bathcraft, American Bath Group.
And what's your experience there?
Well, my experience as it wasn't a great place to work, but if you have to have employment, you know, sometimes you have to do things that you choose not to, and that was my experience. I was there 5 years. It hadn't always been terrible,
Okay.
but it got to that point.
Why did it get terrible there at Bathcraft?
I think ownership changed. The previous owner, I think he sold it, and eventually he passed away, and things went downhill from there.
Okay. So when did you leave?
I left this year.
This year. Okay. So you did not see these pictures then, right?
No, I didn't see them till a friend showed them to me.
Okay. And but as you look at them, hold up one of the big ones there and tell me, what do you think as a former employee? What do you think if you was working there? And if you see that right there, I don't know what time your shift or the shift changes, I'm not sure. But if you see that when you go into work, what does that say to you?
That's saying it's some racism going on there, and that's a place I don't want to be.
When you was there, did you ever file any complaints as far as discrimination, unfair treatment, anything like that?
Well, no, I didn't file complaints as in paperwork, but I did go verbally to the plant manager and voice my complaints, and I always got sort of brushed off or put to a point like, well, if you still want to work here, you got to, you know, let me take care of it, as in his one. But he never, ever made any progress of taking care of any of the things that I complained about or I voiced my opinion about. And some of them was verbally in front of other employees.
Okay. So how is the professionalism out there? Did they treat you like somebody or just, like he said, a slave?
Terrible.
Terrible.
It is terrible. I've worked to several places in my lifetime and in the industry, and I never worked under those conditions. Never. It's the worst place I ever worked at under those conditions, and the pay, the
Benefits?
plant manager benefits, all of that, it's no good.
Okay, and what's your name again?
James Joyce.
And how long have you left from out there? How long has it been since you left from out there?
Well, I left from out there,
Been about a month.
June of this year. June of this year.
Okay, so you just fairly left. Okay, thank you very much. And why are you here? Why did you take time out to come here today?
Because I'm not satisfied with this. I wouldn't care if I was a former employee or just an ordinary citizen that seen it. I do not appreciate this. I have kids, I have grandkids, I have loved ones, and I don't think anybody should have to go through what my grandparents. I thought my grandparents was the one that, you know, experienced this and went through this type of situation. I never thought I'll be one of the ones that face this.
What kind of image do you think a Noose in August of 2019 says about Titletown, USA, the football capital of the United States of America? What does that say to the city of Valdosta in your own words?
To me, it says it's going to hell. It's just the truth. I think they got a lot of supporters supporting our president, and through him and his views, they just bold now. They just coming out and don't care. And this is one of the things that I see that, you know, that show me they don't even, you know, they don't hide it anymore. They don't care. They don't consider us as humans, I assume. You know, I can't really tell you what they think, but I know what I think.
Right.
It's wrong.
All right, thank you very much, my beautiful brother. Man, two of you ought to move y'all two. Excuse me, what's your name?
My name Captain Wade.
And what kind of work do you do?
Fiberglass. I used to work at this company once. I worked there for 4 years.
What company are you talking about?
Bathcraft. The name of it now is AQUATIC. American Bath Group. But I'm currently employed at a better job, better paid, and treat the people way better. I've been there going on the 8th will make a month that I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's looking at this disturbing picture right here has a lot to do with one of the reasons I chose to leave that job.
Okay. Well, since you was not there and you didn't see what you're talking about there, look at number one, picture label mark number one. Mm-hmm. Okay, just hold it up and tell me in your own words what that means to you. Although you wasn't there, what does that mean to you, and what is it?
Hang a black man. That's what that means. You see the noose right there behind the flag. In this particular area, now let me remind you, I was a supervisor there. This particular area is only authorized to maintenance. That's the maintenance guy right there. Mm-hmm. This area is only authorized to him all day, every day. So for that to be hanging there, he got to have acknowledgement of it. Either he did it or he know who done it. Because that's his area. He's held accountable for that area. So I don't see no other employees being able to come out their workstation to do this in a proper manner of timing and not be caught. Okay. Only a person who authorized to that area have that time.
Okay, now you not working there, you have another job. You have another job, but if you was there and that had happened, what you think you would have done? How would you ever
I would have lost my job that morning.
Why?
I wouldn't have worked it. They couldn't. I wouldn't have worked it till they resolved that matter. That matter should have been resolved properly.
Okay.
You just can't say you just can't say I don't know who done it. I can't prove who done it. You already know who area that is. If you go over there and find something in that area, he's responsible. He's the only one that works in that area. That guy right there.
Okay.
That's his area daily.
Okay. And anything else you want to tell us? Your experience while working there. What kind of environment was there?
But in the environment, it's more blacks than anything in the environment. And to be honest, it's a job. It is a job, but you're not being treated fairly. Mm-hmm. You're already coming in the door underpaid, automatically.
Okay. When you say underpaid, how much you start out with?
When I started, it was $9 an hour. Okay. Now they have a new pay scale of $10 an hour coming in.
And how long were you there?
I was there 4 years.
What was your ending salary when you left?
I was at $48,000 a year.
Okay. So
as a supervisor.
Okay.
But on salary.
Okay.
Anything after 40 hours, I don't get paid for it. My time stopped at 40, but you got me working 75 to 80 hours a week. Anything after 10 hours overtime, you should compensate me something. I never got it.
So you would work up to how many hours? 75
to 80 hours a week.
Okay. Now is this gonna is a tradition to work that many hours just every now and then?
It was every day. That was my schedule.
Okay.
I get there from 4:20, and I leave out there 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30 some night. Some night, and I left out there at 8.
Okay. And what kind of grievance? Did you ever state, do they have any grievance policy there? You get any insurance or anything like that? Benefits? How are your benefits?
I just had insurance. Okay. Other than that, it was just you work.
No benefits?
No benefits. It's just you work.
And what's the name of this company again?
AQUATIC American Bath Group.
Okay, but original name, everybody know it as?
Bathcraft.
Bathcraft, okay. That's why we couldn't find it. We went out there because the name was changed.
They changed the name.
Yes, okay.
It's AQUATIC 56 to be exact.
AQUATIC 56. You are the fourth black man with something to say about this company. And what's the name of this company?
AQUATIC Bathcraft America.
And used to be?
Bathcraft.
And what's your name?
Kelvin Wade.
And what did you do at this company?
I was a gun operator, jail coder. I moved around doing numerous jobs.
Okay. And when we say that, what does that entail?
What you mean?
What do you do? What do you do? Hands-on?
Hands-on work.
Work, okay. When did you leave?
About a month ago. This is my third time working now.
This is your third time. Why did you leave the other times you were there?
I moved out of town.
Okay, different reasons. Okay. But when today they showed you those pictures, do you think that's a reflection of what goes on there, and why did you come with these individuals to tell your story?
It's very much a reflection. I feel like this. That same picture right here. If they would have had somebody would have had a Black Panther sign up there, whatever black man that was responsible in that area, they'd have been fired right then. No questions there. They'd have got rid of would have been a Black Panther flag up there. That black man would have been fired who over that work area. He would have been no question there.
Okay, but that's a United States flag. There's nothing wrong with the flag, is it?
No, it's the noose behind the flag, in front of the flag.
Okay, the noose. Okay, we can't see it. Pick up the bigger one because we can't even see it. Oh, so
That's the problem.
That's the problem. And do you think the managers, supervisors, corporate office knew anything about that type of feelings or that type of thing going on?
They're aware of it because 90% of the blacks that work there, they're getting underpaid. And 90% of the blacks that get fired from there or resign from there, 90% of the blacks don't get unemployment. But if you go back and check the books, the records, the white folks get theirs. Every black man that fired for unemployment, they fight against it. You never get it. Because they're going to go back because of the color of your skin.
They write it up wrong.
They write it, when you leave, they don't put on their paperwork why you really left. They write it up in a way where you won't be able to get your unemployment.
That's right.
But the whites get there.
Okay, what's your name again?
Kelvin Wade.
Kevin Wade, hold on just 1 minute, okay? What's your name again, my brother?
Kelvin Wade.
What was your name, Kevin Wade?
I'm Kelvin.
Kelvin, y'all brother?
We twins.
Oh, okay, I'll be quiet. Okay, so tell us again about that unemployment. Because you said you got something to say on that too.
Because I was a supervisor there, so all of us worked it together. Once they departed from that job, the proper way to write it up, is not written up the proper way. You're writing this paperwork up as if they quit or they just refuse to work to deny the unemployment
For the black people.
for the blacks. So now when they go file for the unemployment for whatever circumstance it is for them having to leave, now you got when they go get their paperwork, they're like, man, that didn't happen. You wrote this up wrong. It's nothing said. Push up on the rug. And the reason being because so many people have kept their mind closed over the years, letting them get away with it. But that's why we're here now to let our voices be heard, to motivate other people that still stuck in this work environment. Because what's not fair to me, like I said, I was a supervisor. Give me chill talking about it. I was a supervisor. If I would have came in today, that morning, like I said, it's not the flag the problem, it's the nuisance. Mm-hmm. That guy who's authorizing that area, if he didn't do it, I would have tore it down because I wouldn't have wanted to disturb nobody else from seeing that ignorance. He didn't tear it down. I got the picture something to me that morning. You went and got some black guy to show them what's hanging up here, like it's a game, like it's really a game. Like, because I'm far from prison, all of us are far from prison, so I ain't gonna condone nothing that I don't entertain. I don't entertain racism. So why should a company as good as AQUATIC 56 supposed to be with all these vendors? Why would you support that? Why would you still let that same maintenance man who authorized in that area still be employed there? But only excuse you can give it, you can't prove he did. You can't prove he did it. He's the only one authorized in that area. Now remind you, it's only one shift. So in order for you to do that, if you didn't do it that day before you got on, you had to do it early that morning before the shift started. Maintenance the first one in that building every morning. Everybody know who got keys to that gate. Maintenance they the first ones in there. So you had to do it. If you didn't do it that evening before you got on, you came in there before everybody started shift and you hung that. You could already probably had the flag up, but you throw that nuisance up. You had to do that in the time when everybody else was working, where nobody could just say, oh, I just seen the maintenance man over there doing that. That's an authorized area. I was a supervisor there. Nobody's authorized to be in that area but maintenance.
Gotcha. Now, two questions. One, come back to you. So you're saying that the unemployment ABC, Nightline, Dateline, Your Line, or whatever, ask the company to produce the record on people that did not get unemployment, you think that it would show that black people was the majority of people without question.
If they documentation, if they doing the documentation right, it'll show how you wrote it up, and you go ask that each individual what was the reason you left. You can hear both sides of the story. What was, I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, you might have some on written up right, but 9 times out of 10, you got over half of them written up wrong. Okay. I guarantee you that.
Okay, since you was a supervisor, let me ask you this question too. How many people do you know that retired from out there with some type of retirement?
None. Not name.
All the years.
We don't retire.
You don't retire there?
No, not that ain't it, Joe. No.
Like 401k, they got 401k?
They got 401k. And the only thing that job there is for with the environment, it's just a stepping stone. It's not a career.
Okay.
It's just a stepping stone now.
Give me your name once again.
Calvin Wade.
And how long you worked there?
For a year.
As what?
As a supervisor. For my last year, I was a supervisor. First 3 years, I was a regular employee, but I done everything through the plant.
And what was your closing pay?
I left there probably $20 hour, $21 hour.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's get back to you, my brother. Any closing remarks you want to give my brother?
I had this one accident happen. The day I resigned. They give you these uniforms when you're chopping the tub. You're going
wait, hold your point. When you say resign, explain that.
I quit.
I just want to know. Okay, go ahead.
This particular morning we come in the chop bay where you put the fiberglass and the resin on the tub, you got to wear these suits. Ain't nothing but black folks chopping. You got 3 gun operators, and all 3 gun operators black. Now you want to start taking us, every day we got to pay for our suit. The money gonna come out of our check. But we need that to perform our job. The white guys that need the suit, they don't get charged for it. But
come on, man.
The black guys that needed these suits, in particular day you want to charge us for them, that's the day I quit. Because I refuse to let you take some out my check that I need to do my job.
Okay, does anybody else in here know about that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He's right. I mean, about the paying for the suits.
Yes, sir.
And the work in that area, you have to have them suits. Period.
Yes, sir.
And to charge somebody, the body suit just for them to come to work. How you gonna pay to work? You know what I'm saying?
How much suits cost, by the way?
They were charging like $3 a suit.
It's
Every time of work you do, you might go through 2 suits a day. Because if the resin get on it, it burn through your skin. It'll actually burn your skin.
Right.
You might have to change 2 suits. But they only did when it was no racist. I ain't got a racist bone in, but when it was white guys in there chopping, you never did that. But now you got a majority of blacks in there working throughout the whole company. You want to start charging because you feel like blacks like we wasting their material. You trying to get some of your money back, and the blacks the one putting most of the hours in. We never got to thank you for putting this on. It was plenty of days you don't even have time enough to spend with your family. Because it came down one time that he made a remark, let them monkeys work. It came.
Wait, I don't want to call no name. But who said that? A supervisor said that?
That's what the plant manager had said.
The plant manager said, I don't want no name because you all doing good. We don't want to put nobody's names out there because I don't know where it's going. My purpose is that somebody can see what's going on here in Valdosta. I have heard other things at some other places, but people are not willing to come out and speak like you all are doing today. Yeah. Go ahead, my brother.
They said that he said let them monkeys work. He was going to work us till the sun go up and the sun go down. And he did just that.
But can I ask you something? Because I'm not that smart. I rode the short bus to school and didn't have no tires on it. So when they say use a monkey, I need some help on that. When they say, what does that mean?
Calling you a nigger.
Oh.
That's just a way he trying to clean it up, calling you a nigger.
And then it's followed up by nooses being displayed.
Exactly.
What's your name once again, brother?
Calvin Wade.
And this your brother?
Yep.
Y'all twins?
Yes, sir.
God bless you. My beautiful brother.
All right,
what's your name?
Willie Akins.
Last name?
Willie Akins.
Akins. You got any cousins over in Quitman?
Mm-hmm.
There's some Akins over there.
Madison.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right, but do you still work there?
No, I'm working there.
When did you leave?
About 5 months ago.
How long did you work there?
About 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, about 5.
What was your ending pay?
15, I think.
Why did you leave?
For one thing, I hurt my shoulder bite, and I was out, and we were running night shift. Captain Wade, he was supervisor, lead, and he was running things.
Okay.
But anyway, I left, come back after 3 days in the shoulder, and I turned my paperwork in, and they really didn't want to acknowledge it, and then I just.
When you say when you say they didn't want to acknowledge, break that down for me.
It was like, you gonna work, it don't matter, you gonna buff, you gonna sand, that don't matter.
That don't matter.
Yeah.
And while we in this bucket, what kind of supervisor was this young man right here?
I was a good supervisor. He led.
He showed concern for
Not
people.
because he said that, because that's type of fella he is.
I'm a fat
He
person.
made things professional. He done things professional.
Not right now. Okay, go ahead, my brother.
I said he done things professional. You asked what kind of supervisor he was.
Yes, okay. And so you think that he had some type of professional leadership skill?
Yeah, he did have. Yeah.
Okay, yes, sir, my brother. You had something to say?
Okay, what I'm coming to say is that you're dealing with two former supervisors.
Yes.
Will Aiken was a supervisor and Kevin Wade was a supervisor.
Good point. Hold on, come back to you. Now, you was a supervisor. And how long was you a supervisor?
About a year.
About a year?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you, brother.
Right. Yeah, what I come to say is that, he got hurt and came back. They snatched all his, his rank. And, that's what happened when money and all. And then when I first, was working there, that's the same thing they did to me. I got hurt. They wanted me back on the floor, but, I guess with their rules, I couldn't have a cast on at the job. So they pretty much put me on unemployment. And, like you said, don't call the name, but a supervisor called me back before my time was up, which I still had the cast on, but I couldn't be on the floor. And they just cut my whole unemployment and all.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it's another thing when you cut them off. It's like this is where you can tell the racism for real. Like you got a handful of whites, majority blacks. When a white person come up and tell you they got to leave for a certain reason early, it's no problem. Plant manager cool with it. But when it's a black person come and say they got to do, you might not have a job. You gonna have some kind of lashback with that from the black man trying to go home and handle some of his business. Because some days you get out, he don't even got enough consideration to let you pay your bills. You working 6-7 days a week. You getting up at 7 o'clock at night. You ain't even got. We done had numerous meetings about this. He don't even want to try to address it to the black. When the black man comes speak for, hey, could we get off this time, at least on Friday, so we go pay our bill? It's a problem. But when a white guy, I done seen it more than one time, go and say he need to go handle something, it's no problem. I'm talking about no stat. He can go handle it, but a black guy do it, you might lose your job. You're going to get a point or something to you.
From listening to you all, and if my ability to count is correct, there are 5 of you all,
Right.
and maybe more.
Yeah, there's plenty more.
But my question is, how could workers in 2019 let all this go on, and you haven't found a civil rights organization, you haven't found a news media outlet, you haven't found anybody that would, attorney or somebody to look into your situation? Why haven't you all done that? Somebody. Why haven't somebody done
I'm
that?
gonna be honest. Because, and I can speak for me. Coming up where I growed up, we were like, you say something to me, we gonna get it. You say something out of the way, me out of pocket, we gonna get it. So it was always like push up on the road, no, you ain't talking to me. But now I'm at an age now, I'll be 44 this year, we'll be 44 this year. Now I'm at an age now where I ain't fighting with this. So I'm gonna use this. So even though I'm not employed there, I still got friends there. I still got people I still communicate with there. So that's how the picture was able to get to us, because we still communicate with people in that environment. Okay, it was a lot of stuff done while we was there. Even myself pushed up under the rug. But when you get stuff like this, you coming in from work, and you see stuff like this, and you done worked it 12, 13 hour shifts, and you coming in and to see this, not the flag, but the noose that's in front of the flag, that's like a kick in the face. That's like you got spit in the face.
While I'm focused in on that noose, what does that say to a black man down south when he see it anywhere? What does it say to you? What does it say to you?
It says, hang a nigga. That's what it say. Hang a black man. That's what it say. However they want to slang it,
That's what it's saying for them. But to me, see, it makes me angry. Right now I'm getting mad now because of the fact it's not the flag, it's what's in front of it. In 2019, we still got this going on. We know it's not gonna disappear. We know it's gonna be, some of it gonna be swept up on the road. But for this to come in, you to come in, and the majority of this plant is ran by blacks. Blacks are more dominant in this plant. For them to come in and see this, you don't appreciate it. Because if you had, as you appreciate it, the person who seen this would have tore it down before the shift even got in. I would have took a picture as a supervisor. I would have took a picture, tore it down, and showed it to my supervisor. That's the proper way. I would have let everybody came in and got all riled up because of this ignorance. Now, as the plant manager or whoever I go to, he got to address this because you don't want the people to get riled up about this because that's like you spitting out their face.
Do you all remember, I don't know how many years ago it was, but the government ruled that the Noose represent a felony. That's federal now, the Noose. If I'm not mistaken. Bob Worthing, I'm going to call him, and I want him to talk to you all about that. Now, but anybody else have anything to say?
I'm gonna go back to that then. Like Calvin, and all of us will say it. With that unemployment, like what I was saying, I was hurt. They didn't give me no short-term disability, short-term, did nothing. They didn't want to give me the unemployment until I went file on the medical. You see what I'm saying? They had them put quit on the paper, just like Calvin said. They put a lot for black men that to block them, so they can't come. And see, by the, like when you were asking the question why a lot of them haven't came out yet about what's going on, like I said, you're working at a company that, you know, you got a job, and least thing you do, you ain't got a job. So you got families, you got people like us got families.
A lot of us just coming home from prison. I ain't been home but 8 months. The day I came home, I started breaking up.
That job it means something to us. It's important to us and our family, how we live and how we take care of our family. For us to just be 1 minute we got a job, the next minute we don't have a job.
Yeah, let me share. Let me address another issue here because I like going around the 360-degree circle, and I'm the dot in the circle. Do you think the company does a good thing by possibly hiring people that had a record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say that's a good thing with the company?
They don't discriminate on that.
No, they don't discriminate.
Now you'll give them credit on that.
Because ain't too many people gonna walk in there and want to work at that company. They hands down with that. You might get a job even quicker being on paper.
Wow.
I'm fresh out of prison.
Okay, all right. Thank y'all for your honesty. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the way I rotate. That's the way I want the truth. And everybody that I'm a retired veteran. I served 20 years. And my brother over here as well. I'm gonna get him to say a few words in a minute too. But we as veterans, we look for some changes after all these years. Right. After we put our life on the line, I think he served in 2 wars, you see, or 3. But the bottom line is that you all agree with that too? That
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
okay.
Definitely.
Okay. My beautiful brother, what's your name?
I'm Paul Ransom.
Mr. Ransom, I have the greatest respect for you. You're a little older than me. And you definitely, I see you with the Korean hat on, which I love, and Vietnam, right?
That's it.
That's right. And so I want you to give your name and tell us what do you think about what you have heard here today. And as well as the Nooses, what do you say about that? Being 80-some years old, how do you see that?
Okay. Now, number one, let me say this to you guys that's working there. When you talk to somebody about a problem, if you don't put it on paper, it did not happen. Okay? No matter how illegible or how misspelled the words, you need to get the message across.
Documentation.
This is what's happening. If you do not document, it did not happen. The courts are in their favor, everything. This right here, this news, now we know what that means. But a hangman's noose supposed to have 13 loops. That's the hangman's noose, but that's 13 loops. It means that the message is across. If you don't act like you're supposed to act around here, this is what's in store for you. That's what they're saying. Okay? Now, I don't know where you're gonna work next, but wherever you work next, remember, I mean, it's gonna be the same thing. As long as you're black, you're not gonna get away from discrimination of some kind in the workplace. I was in the Air Force, almost 22 years, and there was discrimination. I worked for the California Department of Corrections for 20 years at the prison. I worked at San Quentin, some of the toughest prisons in the country. Folsom, San Quentin, Soledad. There's discrimination. I was hired at the prison because I was black and qualified. The white boys saw it only as I got hired because I'm black. And it didn't take long to prove myself. Most of the employees at the prison at the time, in the 80s when I worked there, most of the employees was white. And you heard of Patrice Rushing, you know, she is the singer. Her mother, Ruth Rushing, was the director of corrections in the state of California. She's the one that made the changes for the state of California. It was Ruth Rushing that started the education program, the vocational programs. Before she came along, prison was like a zoo, or like the wild, fighting, stabbing, killing, and all that stuff. But when they give people something to do, or something to spend your time, then all of this stuff, it goes away. But that was California. Georgia probably isn't like that from what I can hear with the prisons and the prison system here. It's not like that. But, you know, document everything. Another thing, keep it to yourself. The stuff that you document, don't broadcast it all over the place, because once they find out, they're gonna set up a program to counteract everything that you say. Wait until you need it. Document everything. You come to work late, they ding you. White boy, white girl come to work late, they don't say nothing. Write it down, time, day, and date. Get witnesses, get all of that good stuff. And when it becomes necessary, when they've got you on the chopping block, now is the time for you to say, now here's what happened, here's the day, time, day, and date. No, when you got your documentation and your witnesses and all this stuff, there's nothing they can do except agree with you now. Okay, that's one of the things that did not happen. As I'm listening to you guys here, one of the things that did not happen. Another thing I'm hearing, they got you at a disadvantage, no matter where you work. The prison hurt you. It did. And let me inject this. The 13th Amendment, they talk about all our rights and human rights and all that stuff. Now, did you know what the second sentence in the 13th Amendment says? Get rid of slavery except for people that go to prison. That's the exception. When you go to prison, you are a slave. When you come out of prison, you are a slave. And they take advantage of it. I mean, it may not even be personal, it's just good business.
Yeah.
It's good business. You know, if you're in business and you're trying to make money, it's to your financial advantage to hire somebody that you can get them to do a $1 million job and only give them $25.
That's bad, Fred.
That's it.
So Mr.
Do
Ransom,
that to 'em, yeah.
I stepped out for a minute, but short form, a man with your expertise, I would say, and experience, short form, what do you say about the nooses in the workplace in 2019?
It's a threat. That's what it amounts to. It's a threat. And it works. See, now here's what happens. You see stuff like this, and you get angry. You start fighting. Now, you won't lose your job because of the noose, because you got mad at noose. You could lose your job because you punched somebody in the mouth.
That's right. That's right.
The noose will never be mentioned.
That's right.
If it goes to court, they'll never mention it. But it's a setup. Get somebody angry, make them do something stupid. And when you fall for that, they got you. That's all that is, just a threat. That's all it is. They ain't gonna do, they talk a whole bunch of stuff. Anybody ever got hit out? Anybody ever put their hands on you? Ever? In all this time? Anybody walk to you, shove, push you? You ever do that? See?
I'm gonna go crazy. They're gonna be in trick. They're gonna be in trick.
They got you with this. They get you acting
right.
crazy. I'm quitting my job all day. But somebody else just getting out of prison, that come along and do them the same way. It's a never-ending flow of talent. Okay?
Let me get ready to close this out, but let me compliment you all.
Oh, yeah.
I criticized you first because you didn't do your homework. They taught us in the military. If it's not in writing, it didn't happen.
That's right.
Okay, now number two is, I commend you because even in the military, I have known black men to just hit people and take them out. But I see something that is happening among the black race today, is that they are using their brains instead of their fists.
Right.
So I commend you all for that. Now, the news don't offend me, but it does make me think about the black souls that was lynched in Brooks County, because I'm from Brooks County. We have their names. We know about the Week of Terror, May of 1918.
Mary Turner?
Yeah, 1918.
I think, yeah, 19...
Yeah, 1918, called the Rose Movement in 23.
1819.
Yeah, no, it was 18. I know it was 1918. I got it now.
No, it was 100 years ago. 1918 was 100 years ago.
Well, we're not going to debate that, but I'm going to say 1918. Because 1918, 21, 22, 23, and I remember me and Robinson went to Rosewood, and that murder and lynchings or whatever 3 years later. Okay, so the bottom line is this. There are souls that are crying out in Brooks County because black folk couldn't do nothing. And if you're not careful, we got people that still working out the way you all came from. Nothing will happen unless somebody do something.
That's right.
You all have did something today, but personally, I appreciate you calling me.
Right.
Appreciate you sending me this information because I wouldn't have known nothing.
Right.
But I wish that somebody that's out there now,
That's right.
they don't have to make themselves known. There's ways of doing things.
Right.
And so we're not gonna put this part on, you don't nobody know what you're doing. So let me say this in closing. I want to thank you all for having the courage to come. How old are you, my brother?
I'm 28 years old.
Young man.
Yes, sir.
And standing up.
Yes, sir.
That's a good thing.
Because I'm from Brooks County, like you said. You from Brooks County?
Yes, sir.
And, you know, back in the day, my grandma used to mention that, you know, they closed everything at Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Mm-hmm. It was lynch time. Okay, which had nothing having changed. You got stores and store owners and everything still closing on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock in Brooks County. And, you know, and growing up in Brooks County, you know, you could be young and scared, you know, anything that was going good for you was to get on the football team, which was all black mostly. And you better not get caught too far in the country on the wrong side.
Mm-hmm. But listen, you guys know people are still out there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's all about
Tell them to document stuff, write stuff down. When it happens, write it down. time, day, the date, who, what, where, when, and if you know, why. Write all of that stuff down. This is the information that you got to have. And keep your eyes and ears open and your mouth shut.
And just because you see something wrong, you know you wrote it down and documented, still keep your mouth shut.
That's right.
Let 40 things happen if necessary. So when you do open your mouth, you'll be talking like a king
That's right.
and marching to the bank.
That's right.
Now, I hear some of you guys said you got hurt out there on the job. You hurt on
Yeah, I
the
do.
job. You do?
No.
And you were on the job.
Right.
What year was that, brother? When did you get hurt?
15.
I've been 15, yeah.
Oh, 2015?
Right.
That's kind of long.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened as a result?
Sir, didn't nothing happen. I lost my job.
And it boils down to what y'all was saying, documentation.
They documented.
Yeah, but us, as we should have been.
Okay.
And you're working on another job. It's applicable to your new job.
Yeah, that's right.
It's applicable.
That's right.
When
So, I just learned something.
Yes,
You
sir.
had to go to the hospital?
Yes, sir. I went to the airport clinic.
You had to go to the hospital?
Yeah, ER.
Okay.
What year was
It's
this?
in the office.
Documented.
5 months ago.
Now, you speak 5 months ago.
About this before I left there. Just before I left there. And then documentation is in the office and
Okay, where's your documentation?
I can't say where mine at now, but
The ones that you wrote down, the stuff that's
they gave me a paper and I couldn't find, you know what I mean? I ran a copy of where I had been because I was out those 3 days, and when I came back, I don't know what I did with mine.
But wherever you went,
Yeah,
they
but
should
yeah,
still have
yeah,
that.
at ER.
What he's saying is, regardless of that, you should have still had the time,
Your
date,
stuff.
and stuff.
Your
Yeah.
document.
Yeah.
Let me give you all a key. Anything that you sign your name on, get a copy of it, even if you have to pay for it.
And
Already remember.
that brings me back to a point about
And know where it is.
That's right.
when I was there, the plant manager, he didn't. I don't think he cared for me personally because I voiced my opinion. I didn't hold back, and I voiced my opinion, but I let my work speak for itself. Anybody that have worked with me and worked there during that period of time, that was their words was I was the best finisher they had. Now, that was their words, not mine. But I let my work speak for me. But during that time, I would work. I would train other fellows. Matter of fact, I trained this fellow. This was my supervisor, Calvin Wade. And during in that period of time, incident came up to me. I thought about it. They had to do some repairs on the road.
Yeah.
And my supervisor came to me and asked me, he said, James, would you like to go on the road, make a little extra money? And, I say, sure, man, yeah, I'll do that. And he said, okay, well, you go on the road with him and have him fix some tubs. So I had done took it upon me that my supervisor came to me and told me that I had the job, going on the road, helping him fix the tub. Next thing I know,
Swatting by.
the white boy came and told me, white fella, Mike, came and told me, well, no name, but he came and told me, he said, well, I'm going on the road with Chris now, and we'll be back soon. I say, you too? Because I looked at him like, you too? And then it just, I guess they ain't wanted to be with no blacks on the road because it was strictly white people.
Well, let me ask you a question. Y'all keep using the term black. Why y'all everything black? Why y'all always bring up the race issue?
Well, that's just a way we talk from time to time. We just use it as a adjective or whatever.
No, that's the problem. That's
Yeah.
why. That's why you use, because that's the problem.
Yeah, that is the problem.
And they push it.
Yeah.
But I learned something valuable, documentation. Carry a long way, right then.
Right.
Write it right then.
And they would.
Safeguard it. don't just write it down,
That's right.
safeguard it. Keep it somewhere, and you don't need to tell everybody. You know, my mother, my ex-mother, she said, don't let him get a fish out the water but his mouth.
Okay.
Don't
Yeah.
tell it. You write it down and put it somewhere and keep it handy. Okay? And add to it. Every single day you work, something happens that needs to be documented.
Sometimes they're good,
Yeah.
not all the bad.
Absolutely.
And they try to put you in a position where you destroy yourself. Like me, I was there like those 5 years, and out of those 5 years I was there, at least 3.5, 4 of them, I probably only missed 2 or 3 days total.
And see, document that stuff. That's the kind of stuff you gotta document.
And the
All
last,
things.
once that new regime came in, I pointed out.
You're tired. You're real.
I pointed out, and then the reason for that, the body was worn down, and other reason, they have the system where it doesn't work for you. I had personal time, personal days, and all that, but I couldn't use them unless they tell me I could.
Right.
So if I got sick or some, matter of fact, the day I pointed out, got sick, I couldn't use my personal time
Or your vacation.
or my vacation. I left there with vacation. Then they wouldn't give it to me.
So you didn't get no pay, no compensation for that?
None.
No.
I pointed out, got no unemployment, no vacation time, no anything.
See, and it's been going on.
Yeah.
It ain't just
Nothing.
It's been going on.
And
Somebody just never seen
that
it.
was my supervisor, and I called him that morning and told him the situation I was in. I was sick, throwing up. I had made it to the parking lot, other job, went to throwing up, had to go back home, and I could have used a personal day or a sick day or whatever you want to call it, because I had them. I had been there and accumulated time. I had vacation time as well. I pointed out, so that because I felt as if the plant manager didn't like me voicing my opinion and speaking up, because I spoke up when the time came, and he didn't like when you speak up.
Yeah. Okay, let's bring this to a close now. And I have one question. I've thought about it 3 or 4 times and I forget it. So I don't want to forget it. And you all leave. I'm going to ask you first. How many blacks work out there and about how many whites?
Say about 30, 40 blacks, and about less under 10 white.
My brother, what's your...
About the same, about 30, 40 black, about 10 white, about 8 to 10 white.
How many top-level black supervisors?
One.
Does he have a voice?
No.
You agree with him?
I say the roster holds 70 people there. 70 people. So I give it 60 I give it 55 on black. You might got about 3, 4 Mexican and the rest of it Caucasian.
So 75% black.
75%, 90%.
Okay. Would you agree with that, brother?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I do.
You agree with that too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you believe in your heart of hearts, with the number of black people that keep that plant running or afloat, that somebody that's black ought to be somewhere in top level management?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
After these many years, I mean, that's been out there a good while, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it
It
has.
got a new name, but I think it's been there for a pretty good while.
You have.
And you, would I be safe in saying that there is no retirement plan?
Yes, sir.
You're correct.
Yes.
There is.
Would I be safe in saying there's no real benefits?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Except your 401k.
That's it.
Some places like that now, so they ain't like, you know. So.
Right.
That's not
And-
a career job.
Right, you said that before. That's right. Yeah.
It's
Not a career job. Okay.
But even though, I do want to say that, even though that y'all have taught us some valuable lessons, what need to be done, not just there, but in our future. But even though that if we don't affect the problem that they have, at least somebody who's still there will hear us coming forward and they'll push forward with it. You know what I mean? So it's not about us. It's about those who left behind right there still in. Because we away from it,
Yeah.
but our friends and
Oh,
family
we
still
once
in it.
was in that
Yeah,
situation.
I'm cool because I'm not going back there, but I don't mind voicing my opinion to what's really going on to help somebody else that's there open their mouth
Now,
and do it the proper way.
everybody, go ahead.
And, I try to get everybody together today, to come to the meeting, which, like I said, there's a lot of them still work out there. And, the first thing they'll say, he got with everybody. They got to send me all the pictures and, and keep me updated. He got with everybody. And the first thing they say, they're scared. They just scared. They know they're going to get fired if they step forward.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
But,
See-
like I said, it's plenty of people willing to talk to you.
He ain't more worried about who hung the noose. He worried about who took the picture so he can file.
Right.
That's
Right.
what he worried about.
Run that by me again.
He ain't more worried about the noose. He more worried about who took the picture so he can file him.
Right.
You think so?
I
Yes,
know
sir.
so.
I know so.
That's right. And to me, this picture reminded me, I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what I was speaking the other day on. They can't do it this way no more. So they work you and say, we can't hang you like this, but we can kill you by working you like this.
That's a threat. That's a threat.
That's right.
This is one of the means that we gonna do it. That's what we do.
Mhm. That's why they work you all those hours.
Yeah.
If you look back, and
thought it was
it's been about
against the law.
10 or 15 years, or maybe a little longer. I know a couple of people. They got it was in the old break room up there, and they had a plaque where they warned the people that, and majority of them were black people that died, that they worked, that fell
Yeah.
dead
Yeah.
at their job.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing.
And as a
People don't,
supervisor,
that people don't talk about.
It's an old Bathcraft had it that way.
Yeah, old back.
We used to walk in, you see all the plaques that
Yeah, you see
all
the
the
plaque.
people that done put in all the time, grandparents, great grandparents,
That's
that
all
done
they
put all
got.
the time,
That's
man. They got acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
But when the new company bought it, which is AQUATIC, everything got took down.
Yeah,
They didn't
everything.
change the whole plant to the cross to the
Yeah.
other plant. Like they changed everything about everything. And like I said, they don't care nothing about you.
Kicked on the rug, see?
And I thought down there to the unemployment office that it was a limit to where you work a person. And like I said, 14 to 13 hours every day, Monday through Saturday. That's,
No break.
man.
What you mean no breaks?
you get one
You
break
get,
in lunch.
one break.
That's it. But you working 14, 15
Hours
hours
a day.
Yeah.
So the people that y'all left out there,
They still doing it.
Still going through it.
Still.
I talked to a fella this morning. And he's still going through it. And, he's trying to find a way out.
Yeah, there you go. And it's hard to find a way out when they working you like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't get out and go look for another job because you got to be on that job. You see what I'm saying? So you got to really find that way out.
Yeah.
And
You don't have an opportunity.
You
And then
don't
if
have
you-
it.
If you do,
I worked at
after you
7 days
take a
week.
bath and you sleep.
Yeah, you sleep.
It's been night. I didn't even eat.
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
fall asleep.
It was nice. I looked just like this here.
All right.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
wore out. You couldn't go look for no job, and then
Yeah.
that
You didn't
was
have
the
opportunity.
job that you depended on right now, because you got your family, you got your kids, you got everybody.
okay, this is the last point, and I will close after this.
Okay.
Today is August the 6th, 4:59. We've been here for over an hour. And finally, what's your name?
Willie Akins Jr.
Do you have any problems with me publishing this on Facebook or going public with this to let people know you give me permission
I give you
to get to
permission.
Free Press? What's your name?
Kevin Wade.
Mr. Wade, you give me permission to do this.
Yes, sir.
Not for yourself, but for the people that you left behind, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Calvin Wade, I do give you permission to let my voice be heard. Yep.
Thank you. Mr. Ransom,
Yes, sir.
will you bear witness
Oh, yeah.
that nobody in here was coerced to say what they said? They spoke from their own.
From their heart.
Do you have a problem with me using this?
Not at all.
Or even to send it to news media outlets
Not at all.
so they will know
For them,
what is going on in Titletown, USA,
tell them.
that nobody
Tell it.
probably would publish. But we report
Tell it.
what others ignore.
Tell it.
My beautiful brother,
Yes,
what's your
sir.
name?
James Joyce.
Do you give permission for us to do and to publish under the First Amendment of the Constitution that we have a right in this country. And we also are due to freedom of the press, even if they won't press our issues to the paper, we still have that right. So you give me that permission.
I do give you that permission.
All right. And what's your name?
My name is Daryl Davis.
Daryl Davis, you were the first one. They're gonna see you as a troublemaker because we would not have known about this
Right.
if you hadn't told somebody.
Right.
So I just want to know, do you also grant permission to release this and make it public for the good
Right.
of the people that work at this company? I can't think of the name of it. Do y'all know the name of it?
Bathcraft Aquatic 56.
The new name is what?
Aquatic 56.
Plant
Plant
56.
That's what the 56 stand for. That's the 56 plant.
Okay. And does anybody know the official address?
1610 PD Roger Road.
Okay.
Industrial Boulevard.
And where is the home office?
That's Tennessee.
Yes. That's in Tennessee.
Corporate.
Tennessee.
Corporate office in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Okay. They may need to know about this as well.
Please.
They may already know,
Please.
but the people that works there, they're gonna have to do a little work for themselves.
Yeah.
Once again, this is the Getto Free Press. I'm George Boston Rhymes. I'm a retired military veteran. I started this work in 1975. I did it before I got out of the military. If you go to kvci.blogspot.com, you'll see when I was writing, and I'm not a writer, but my heart had letters that I had to put on paper. And so that's what I did. And then I picked up a camera and started going video. And if you go to my site, you will find 4,000 subscribers and 200 or something. And I never asked for nobody to subscribe to my channel. I say, if you love the truth, subscribe. If you don't, you don't have to come back no more.
That's right.
And nearly 2 million views around the world, nearly 2 million. And I never asked for nobody to view a video. But if you want the truth and you want to know what's going on, and I want you to know, if you go to my channel, I was going to say something, I'm not going to say it. What I will say to you, when you go to my channel, you should be able to see my subscribers. And I want you to see the news media network that subscribed to my channel, and I didn't subscribe them. Okay. And I have sent my videos to Action News. I've gotten calls from Washington, D.C. I was called to Bentonville, Arkansas, the march on the home wall, a Walmart. Just last week, I was in Alabama, and I was Googling my name, and I found out that somebody referenced me. I haven't even mentioned this to you. They referenced me in a book that they wrote concerning Walmart. Got me in it I don't know how many times. I didn't even know it. And so people don't want us to pick up our camera and do our own reporting. But I'm here to tell you, that all that you hear in the news about police brutality, if it wasn't for the cell phone, it would have never been heard. But this right here is better than a 9mm.
That's right.
A 9mm gets you in jail, but this can get you free.
That's right.
All right.
Y'all have a nice day.
All right.
I appreciate your courage. I'm gonna set somebody to lead us in a prayer before we close.
Gracious Lord, we're so grateful to you for how good you've been to us, how you brought us from the earliest existence of our days up to and including this present time. Bless our efforts. Go with us, stand by us as we fight this battle. Help us to succeed in our efforts. Bless each one of these gentlemen here, bless their families, bless them individually, bless us collectively. Go with us, stand by us, and when our mission is done here on this earth, give us a home in your kingdom where we can praise your name forever. Amen.
And in the volume of sacred law, St. John 8:32 says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set and make you free. Then I went down the road a little further, and I talked to Dr. Matthew, chapter 24, verse 35. And it says, heaven and earth will pass away,
Jesus,
but my word
never fail.
will stand forever.
Amen.
That's how powerful the scriptures are. Don't you remember, because you're from Brooks County, Do you remember the race problem, right? Some people thought it couldn't be done for a black man to come from where he came. But see, God had a hand in the plan to prove that his word would stand forever. And it happened. Y'all have a nice day. God bless you. And thank you for your courage. Thank you, brother. Peace be unto you.
Document, write it down, and shut up.
That's the key word, documentation.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Peace be unto you. Y'all got my cards, right?
I got it. I'm finna go on that site tonight. Me and my wife finna go on.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, what's your name?
Tamara Priester.
Pronounce the last name again.
Priester.
Prieston. Okay, and why did you come out here today, and why do you want to tell the story that you're about to tell?
I came out here because I feel like I wasn't treated fairly
Wasn't treated fairly where?
at Bathcraft.
Okay. Tell your story.
My story is I had an altercation with a female that worked out there, and the problem was she approached me and hit me in front of my head, and I didn't do anything about it at the time because I knew consequences was going to come behind that, so I left that alone. So because I knew other people was going to see that. So after all of that, she just kept on going and going and going. So other guys seen it, so they tried to stop her from coming back at me. And after that, you know, I clocked out and they took me to the office and they told me that they were going to talk to me in the office, which they was already talking to her first in the office. And after that, they let her went out the back door and they called me in there and I talked to them. And they wrote everything down, what was said and what was done. And they say they didn't see, no one say they didn't see anything, but everyone saw everything. So they said they were gonna call me and let me know when I can come back to work. But they never did call me. I went out there. And when I went out there, they had my termination papers for me. But she had went back to work. They had called her back to work. So they didn't never fire her. They fired me. And she hit me first. We did a little arguing, and that was it. But other than that, I didn't pass a lick with her. She was being a bully and also a troublemaker, and I was not going for none of that. So that's all I can say, and I felt like I was not done. I was not did right. It was not fair because I feel like if they fired me, if we had an argument, they should have fired her too. But they kept her. They let her came back the next day, and she was excited about that because she said I was gone.
Okay, now when you went into the office, when they interviewed you in the office, what was the exchange between you and the people in the office?
They asked me what happened, and I told them, I said I was standing up there beside the table, and she already had been in the office earlier that morning because they say, you know, she was causing a lot of problems. So actually she came back on the floor after lunch. That's when all this happened. I was standing by the table and she came up to me and she said, I got something for you, bitch. And I say, you got something for me? What's that? And next thing I know, she took her finger and she did my head like that. And I say, this is really what you want to do? And she told me, she said, yeah, today I'm going to beat your ass. I say, okay. So from there on, everybody seen what happened, so people started getting in between us. And we went from word to word. Someone took her off and tried to cool her off. She come back round the corner and tried to attack me again. Other guys broke it up. One of the guys not here. They tried to break it up. And she just kept going on and on, cussing, carrying on. Wasn't ladylike or none of it. I still didn't say anything. I just got to the point and I told her, it's just whatever, you know. I'm not finna fight you on this job because it's not worth it, because I know. But I can press charges against you because you get me. They told me in the office that was cause for her. I didn't need to press charges against her. So I said, y'all taking her side? They say, no, we're not taking no sides. But we have no one saying that she hit you. So I said, okay, that's fine. They interviewed him and interviewed Zed, which was the active supervisor at the time. And I can't recall who else they interviewed. Other women they interviewed too. It was two sisters worked out there. A girl named Pumpkin, they interviewed her too. They came back out the office. They didn't say anything to me, so I already knew something was said to cover it up. When I went into the office, they wrote down everything I was saying about her. I say, number one, she bullied everybody. She's not ladylike.
Okay, oh, that's good. Okay, but they people not okay. So after you've explained what happened. So how did they fire you? How did they fire you?
They said they was gonna call the lady, the HR, and let her handle that.
Okay.
And that's all I know.
And so after that, what? Nothing.
They sent me home.
They sent you home. Okay, that's it. And so from that, you hadn't done nothing else.
Nothing.
No
else.
EEOC complaint about discrimination, nothing like that. No formal complaint with the head office in Tennessee or wherever. You didn't do none of that.
No. I tried to reach out to the HR lady. I left messages. She wouldn't call me back.
Okay, and once again, how long it been?
The same day it happened.
Was that in June, July, or May? You know, what date was it?
June.
Of this year?
Of this year.
Okay. Okay, and what you know something about the incident too, right?
Well,
so what's your name?
Albert Brooks.
Evan what?
Albert Brooks.
Evan Brooks. Okay, Evan Brooks. So what steps? Move up, set up straight. Okay. Okay, so what can you tell us about that situation, or about the whole plan in itself? What can you say about it?
Well, basically, with her, I was just called to the office and asked about what happened. And
Who called you to the office?
Robert Tustin, the human resource.
Okay. The human resource HR again.
Yes.
Okay.
And asked what happened, and I explained to him I didn't see her hit her because I wasn't in that department, so I don't know exactly what happened. All I know is that when they got the altercation from that I seen, altercation when I seen them getting ready to, I guess collide or whatever, me and another guy jumped in between. I pulled you back, I pulled her back, and the other guy pulled the other young lady back, and that was it. And that's all I can explain to them about what happened on that situation.
Okay. Well, what can you say about your experience working at the plant?
Well, everything was pretty fine up until I guess I got terminated.
When was this?
July 12th this year.
Okay.
And about insubordination.
Okay.
And basically, I was asked to do a job that I was already had two jobs I was already doing that day. And asked to do another job on top of that one. And pretty much explained to the plant manager and the acting supervisor that I don't have time to do that. I'm already doing two jobs. I'm already putting in acrylic bars. I'm already doing handicap tubs. I don't really know how to do the walls anyway. so we'll get somebody to train you. I said, well, I don't have time right now to do it. He said, well, when you get time, because we know a lot of times you don't have anything to do, you basically walk around all day. I said, no, I help the guys with nesting. And I said, but I tell you what I do it, no problem. I said, because I'm going to be gone here soon anyway. He said, what did you say? I said, I'm going to be gone soon. He said, okay, well, we'll get somebody here and let you train them, and you can leave. That's all so after everything was done with, everything was over with. I talked to him later on that day, 2 or 3 times that day. This ain't getting a problem. Same Chris that I knew. Next day, about 2:30, Robert Touch, the human resource manager, came to me and asked me did he need to talk to me. I said, well, and I was always jokingly saying, like, before September, like, what about what's finna fire me? And I always jokingly said that. He never. I noticed he never said anything at that time. You just say, nah, we're not gonna fire you. But he never said anything this time. So we went to the office and he said, well, I'll call you about the incident that happened yesterday. I was like, yeah. Well, Chris decided that he decided to terminate you after we talked to Sandy. And he has a witness, and you did tell me that you told me you weren't going to do it. I said, no, I did not tell you that. I told him I didn't have time to do that. I'm already doing 2 other jobs. I said, I have 2 witnesses out there, 2 other guys, and he said, well, you do? I said, yeah. So he went out there and talked to the 2 guys, came back. So, well, you can talk to Chris now and see if you want to change his mind, or you can talk to Sandy Moore, the human resource director over AQUATIC. I said, well, I'd rather talk to Sandy because I already know his opinion already. I already know he's already his mindset already. So, and so they said, well, call her the next morning. I called her the next morning, and I explained to her the situation, what happened, and she basically just said, well, he has a witness also, and we're not going to reverse the termination. And she pretty much hung up the phone after that. And so I just filed my unemployment insurance.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Okay, if that incident there was an incident, but had they written you up for anything else? Did you have anything in your record?
I've been there 5 years, never got rid of.
Never had, and that happened, and they terminated you for that.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
And I explained to her, Sandy Moore, that I say I've been there 5 years. I said I've never been rolled up for anything. I rarely even missed a day out of 5 years. The only days I have missed are days that I took my vacation for, and personal time off, which we don't get paid for, which I don't take those because you don't get paid for them. And I say, so you're gonna tell me that you're gonna fire me and risk put my family in jeopardy because of this man telling you that I said so? I said, you haven't even talked to me before you even terminated me. You just got his side. You didn't even get my side of the story. So that's what I explained to her. And
okay, so you are putting there saying the same thing that we keep hearing, a pattern of practice, that there is no professionalism whatsoever. There is no guideline that they follow consistently where you can have some confidence in the method by which they employ you or terminate you or give you a promotion.
Correct.
So it's kind of like chaos.
It's basically dictatorship. Whatever they say, it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's it.
Well, let me turn the table a little bit, and I don't know. They call me, and I say I got a call, and this for both of you all. I want y'all to look at those and just tell me on camera, how did that touch you? What do you think about what you see in that picture? How did that grab you, and how did it affect you as a black person?
When I first seen it, besides seeing the picture, I seen it on Facebook, and because I had my phone in a few days, so I didn't know anything about what was going on. I was like, when I seen it, I'm like, huh? I didn't really notice the picture. I didn't really notice the Noose at the time. I was just like looking at the picture really fast. Okay, what's that's Adrian and Milton. Those the first pictures I seen. Mm-hmm. I was like, well,
you said that was who?
Adrian and Milton.
Who's that?
They're the maintenance guys.
So you didn't call their name?
Yeah.
So you know them?
Yeah, I know them.
We didn't call their name all day yesterday, I don't think.
Yeah.
So you don't identify them?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Well, I appreciate that.
And I said, well, I didn't notice it. And I looked again. I'm like, some news hanging up there. I was like, what? Where'd that come from? So I called Daryl, and I'm like, I just seen the picture, and I say, where'd that come from? Like, that's what I took the job with. I'm like, huh? I didn't never seen that out there. And I was pretty shocked. I'm like, I couldn't tell like what was really going on. Like, I just see them looking, and it was like they trying to take anything down, or they're just like looking up. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. That kind of shocked me.
The both of them were standing up looking up?
Yeah.
And they black men, right?
No, they're white.
Okay. Now, what do nooses mean to you? First to you, my sister, what does a noose mean to you, and how do you put that into your psyche? What do you think? What comes to mind when you see a noose hanging in a workplace?
Hanging,
Lynching.
lynching,
Black folk.
prejudice.
Okay. Okay. What about you, my brother? What comes to your mind when you first see that? And I want to know this because I asked everybody else the same question. Because I'm retired military, and I know when I was in the military, if I saw that in my workplace,
I'll be
I said
afraid.
it's a threat. Like,
It's a threat.
if basically y'all don't get in line, that's what it is.
all right, well, all I'm going to say is that, what's your name again?
Albert.
Albert.
Tamara.
Now, I want to thank you all for coming in today. You didn't have to, but we're building something here, hopefully, that will shed light on Valdosta. And as the people that came yesterday, they don't work here anymore either. But they said that just maybe it can help the people that remain there.
Yeah.
And this is what it's all about. I was able to retire from the military after 21 years. I could not have retired if somebody, black, white, Latinos, and others, had not fought for me, had not stood up for me, had spoke out and put their life on the line. That's why I was able to go into the military and get a paycheck every month, because somebody cared enough about me. And so I don't get paid for what I'm doing here. This is my time. I'm trying to pay back to y'all grandchildren what somebody contribute to me. And if we don't continue to work to make it better for other black, white, children, Japanese and German, it ain't gonna get no better. And so this is why I want to commend you all for stepping up to the plate. And if you know anybody else that want to come, want to talk on the camera, but if they're chicken, you know what that mean, don't you?
Yes.
They can't fly. And we need some flying birds.
That's right.
Because that's what we had yesterday was flying birds. They flew over slavery. They flew over segregation. They flew over what we got in the White House there, and they're still moving on to progress. And I want to thank you all so much. Thank you so much. Since you all talked yesterday, do you have anything else you want to share that you might not have known yesterday and you want to share for the benefit of the camp? Because what this is nothing more than an account of what's going on, and hopefully others will step up. And before it's over, and I'm saying this on tape, and I don't think I have to cut this out, but if there is an attorney that they can get a glimpse of what they getting into if they look at this and say, you know, I think I want that case. So is anything else happened, or you all met somebody else that want to talk, just talk to us.
Yes, I like I said, I still got friends that work there. So I still communicate with a lot of men and women that work there. And I don't mind being a voice for the ones who still there and the ones that gonna come along after all this. But I learned something yesterday from talking to y'all guys. Y'all gave me a lot of wisdom yesterday. So the day while I was at work, I was contemplating on the conversation we had. And one of the things that caught my attention was the noose in front of the flag. Right then, for everything that I ever done, every time I went to prison for my acts of breaking the law, I was investigated and I was prosecuted. That particular scene, that morning when they came up, that was a crime scene. So in my mind, after communicating with y'all yesterday, my mind, I'm thinking, why wasn't authorities notified? Not saying VPD didn't do their job, not saying Lyons County Sheriff Department didn't do their job, but they never was notified. As a plant manager, as a supervisor, somebody should have called the authorities first, because that could have easily got out of hand between the cultures. Easily could have got out of hand. So authorities should have been called, because what I get out of that, I'm a forensic type of person. I watch a lot of forensic. DNA hanging right there. So You're trying to figure out who put it there. DNA is on that noose.
So from what you were telling us today that we didn't get into yesterday, this noose automatically generates some type of a hate crime.
That's right.
Or a crime scene
That's right.
that should be investigated
That's right.
by somebody at that company who cares about living beings enough
That's right.
to investigate, to call 911, the police, or at least his home office of the plant to let somebody know that something ain't right here.
That's
but
right.
So nobody did that.
Nobody done that because inside that plant, your investigation ain't gonna stand firm. Should let authority done their job, handle it the proper way. That's supposed to be in the bag. That's evidence. That's all that's supposed to be evidence. But it never was taken properly. They never called authority. Nobody never called authority. I get a call today, they just taking the flag down. Authority of the police, but VPD, Lyons County Sheriff Officers already had this tagged and bagged as exhibit A, B, whatever they want to use it for. Because it had everything that I did wrong in my time of breaking the law, I was investigated and I was prosecuted. I feel the person who done this need to be investigated and prosecuted.
Now let me ask you a question. Why didn't you call 911 when you saw it?
I wasn't there. I quit that job on July the 8th.
If you were there, would you have called?
If I was there, I would have called the police and I would probably lost my job that day. If I was
And you said that yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I would have probably lost my job. If I was there, I would have called the police, and 9 times out of 10, I can bank it, I would have lost my job that day. Because I wouldn't have went in there and done no work. The work part was over with when I came in and seen that. Automatically, you pose a threat to me when I see that. To me, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, you pose a threat for me, so you wouldn't have got no tub. You can't just put all your time into a tub. You got to care about the people. I wouldn't have put my hand on the damn tub. Authorities should have been out there handling this the proper way. It was a crime scene. Caution tape should have been up right there.
That's a good point. Now, you said that you know of other people that may come forth and talk, and I know you told me something earlier, we don't even want to touch that, about what he may have in his hand. We want him to tell it.
That's right.
We don't want to give him no heads up, make somebody scared with it, won't even bring it. And anybody got any evidence? Bring it. We want it. We need it. Okay?
We gonna get it.
You gonna get it.
We gonna get it.
And here again, I will say again, I don't get paid for this. I've been doing this since 75. And I don't get paid for it. I'm called a lot of dirty names for it. But I'm saying this. This is the Get to Free Press. I'm George Boston Rhines, and we report what others ignore. I'm not in Valdosta. I'm not in Lowndes County. I came over here for something that you will find out in this video. What's your name?
His name is Jason Byron.
Jason Byron, okay. Mr. Byron, did I call you this morning?
No, I contacted you.
You called me. Okay. Why did you call me? What do you want to say to me?
Well, I want to discuss with you an issue that was going on at a company in Lowndes County.
Mm-hmm.
They go by the name Bathcraft/AQUATIC.
Okay. Let me say at this juncture that I want you to be honest with us. I have others that have done the same thing that you're doing now. And I just want you to tell us your experience of being employed there at this company in Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and in the United States of America. Tell us your story.
Well, I've been there for 5 years. You know, I really never experienced a problem there beforehand till like a year ago when they fired one plant manager and hired another. And we started seeing a lot of changes from then on. It would go from working all day to you know, getting told what you cannot do in an unmanner way, you know.
Well, tell us about it.
Like I said before, you got to have the plant manager, you know. For example, he don't want you to leave that company for no reason. He told me no matter what happened to your family or whatever, you cannot leave this company till you do these units. You know, and I feel like that's just unfair. I mean, how can you just tell a person, you know, he can't go handle his family's business?
Okay, now, I can understand that, but how do you interpret that? Do you interpret that as being all day, or you can't go during your lunch hour? When he say, or what, I mean, you're supposed to be working, so I mean, why you say that? Explain that a little bit. Why is that a problem for you?
For me?
Yeah, as an employee, why do you see that as a problem?
Because I mean, I'm human. I got a family. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anything can happen to my daughter or my mother or whatever. You know.
Okay, so you're saying even in emergencies you can't leave the plant or get an excuse to go home.
Exactly. And when you do leave and come back, they want you to have a document saying why, you know, what's that true, why you left, why you saying you leaving.
I know a lot of companies like that. Why do you find that to be so strict? I mean, why do you see that as being real strict?
Because one, they never had that in the policy, you know what I mean? It's not in the workbook policy. You know, all of a sudden that just came about. Okay. You know.
And before new management, you didn't have a problem with that?
Didn't have a problem with that, not at all.
Okay, so this is like a new procedure under new management, new rules implemented, but not in writing.
Exactly.
Okay. And so, but why did you? How long you work there?
Well, I was together 5 years.
5 years.
And I was there like 2.5 years, and I left about 3 months, and I came back.
Okay.
So, been there for 3 years up to this point.
Okay. Did you ever notice any racial overtones while you was there?
I mean, recently, yeah. Like, I can hear things and see things, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, I try to not say nothing about it too much, you know, till it become a problem.
Did you complain about what you saw as a problem? Did you take it to management or make a complaint? And if not, why not?
I done went to the man a couple times before when I felt like he was doing us wrong, you know. So I get no response,
So you didn't get no response?
Well, not really, not the response I want to hear,
okay.
You know.
Did you notice anything in the policy in terms of grievance, established grievances or standards, anything like that? In terms of you go to them, HR or somebody required to respond, you never saw nothing like that while you was there? So you really didn't have nobody that you felt that would really listen to your cries or problem?
Right.
Okay. Let me ask you, that's about your scenario, right? All right, now, let me ask you a question. Let's say, when did you leave there, you say?
In June
Of this year?
this year.
Okay, let's just say that you were still at this plant, and if you know anything about the location, first I want to know if you recognize the location of these pictures I'm about to show you. One called here, it started out with Exhibit 1. Do you know where that's located in the plant?
But this right here, it's outside the plant.
Oh, okay, okay.
This like the little maintenance little work area.
Okay.
You know? When they got the well or something, you know, they take it over there.
Okay, okay. So it's like a machine shop or just a little work, like a work area?
Yeah, just like a little work area.
Okay. Now, if you was there, what do you see in that picture that gets your attention as it has gotten a lot of other people that I've interviewed? What's in that picture that gets your attention?
But get my attention is this rope hanging from in front of this flag that wasn't there in June.
It wasn't there in June. And so now it's August, so somebody had to put that up there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you refer to that as a rope.
Well, there's something like that. It's something hanging. It's some kind of object there.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
People that have come before you say it's a noose, and they believe that nooses is what they hung black people on during slavery and recently around the nation. And so,
Right.
have you ever heard of a noose?
Yeah.
Do you say that look like a noose? Go to your next picture, maybe you can see it a little clearer. What do you see there?
The same thing as you got a noose.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, although you are not, go through all the pictures since you got them. Just go through them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say you were still working there at that company, and if you came in one morning and some of the other employees has told me about, if you came into the plant and after getting there, getting ready to do a full day's work, and if you notice that rope or a noose in the place where you work, what would you think of it? How would you feel if you saw that, if you was at that time?
I feel, you know, like, what word I want to use, like I ain't got no freedom, no right there, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I feel like, so what they trying to do to us out here?
When you say us, you mean
people,
blacks?
Black people.
Black people.
You know what I mean?
Okay, now, you bring it to a close. Give me your name again.
My name is G.B.R.
And you worked there 5 years.
5 years.
And you didn't go back. Was you re-employed? Yeah. That was it. All right, so you were re-employed. You went away. Why did you leave, by the way?
Oh, paid situation. They wouldn't give nobody no raise. And, you know.
That's very important. I want you to tell me about that.
Right. I had been there for like 2.5 years, and the supervisor then, you know, he kept promising a raise, you know, cause I was doing a good job, mm-hmm. good performance, mm-hmm. what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But I never get it till I put in my 2-week notice. Then he tried to give me some more money.
Okay. So you went 2 years without a raise.
Right.
And you were doing a good job, you feel?
Doing a good job.
Was you ever written up?
Nope.
Nothing was in writing, but you never got a pay raise.
I got that one they supposed to gave me.
Right.
But I went to a chopper, which I supposed to got another raise because I went up.
You moved up.
I moved up.
Better qualified.
Right.
And you got no pay raise.
I ain't getting no pay raise.
All right. Now, did you know of anything in the policy about training versus pay raise? Was it in writing that they would give you a pay raise once you completed something, or every year, or every 6 months, or every 2 years if you didn't get no write-up? I mean, well, first of all, was there any promises made to you?
Yeah, he had told me I would get a raise, after 3 months, then 6 months, and a year.
Okay.
But I only got that one. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now 6 months done came, a year done came, Now almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years, and you still didn't get a
I
raise.
still didn't get the raise when I moved up.
Okay. Okay. Now, do you know of anybody else out there that might have got angry because they didn't get a pay raise? Was it? Do you think it was a widespread problem, or they just didn't like you?
Everybody.
It was kind of a routine unfairness in that along that line.
Right.
Okay. How did you find out about some people coming together to give their complaints to me, to Getto Free Press? How did you find that out?
One of the employees that got fired from there the week after, he called me and told me.
And that's how you found out about it? Because when you called me this morning, you didn't know my name. You called me a freelancer, right?
Yeah, Mr. Freelance.
Yes, he called me Mr. Freelance, yeah. Well, I want you to know that the work that I'm doing here, I'm not saying it's gonna help y'all case. But one thing for sure, it won't hurt your case. I do this because normally back in the 60s and 70s, when you had a problem such as this, you used to go to your local newspaper, television stations, or radio, and they would give listening ear to your situations. But we have found out today, and I'm a member of the social media press, and I'm known in Washington, D.C., not boasting because I don't take no pride in it. I've been to Bentonville, Arkansas, the home office of Walmart. I've been published in books by the work that I do. My only purpose in this is to make it better for you, your children, your grandchildren, and coming generations. And at this point, I want to commend you as I've commended others for stepping up, willing to get in front of this camera and state what is happening to you. I am a retired military veteran. I served 20 plus years in the armed forces during the Vietnam War. That means that we supposed to have freedom of speech, freedom of the press. And if we don't have that, then I'm asking the question, then why should black people serve in the armed forces? Why should you serve in the armed forces and return home to America, and then you are employed and you have to face a rope extended from the ceiling with the United States flag in the background, with a noose that black folk are very, very familiar with here in South Georgia in particular? That should not be. And this is why I do what I do. You can check me out on the web. You'll see where a lot of people call me a racist. They call me outside agitator. They call me a Martin Luther King wannabe. They call me a Jesse Jackson lookalike. They call me nigger. They call me all of these names. And I know, as a human being, that somebody did this for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to go into restaurants. I couldn't use public facilities along the highways. They would still call me nigger and nothing done about it. And they would take you out and lynch you and nothing was done about it at all. Because the law enforcement and the judges are all tied together, worse in the days of old. But it seemed as if though those days are among us again. And I think you bear witness with that. So as we close, I'm gonna ask you, do you have any final comments?
Yeah, that sums it up.
Do you give me your permission to release this publicly to CNN, MSNBC, to anybody else? It's just like all other people that I've interviewed and the others that I'm going to interview, I'm gonna ask them the same question. Do you give me permission to make this public?
You got my permission.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I'm going to city council meeting tonight in Valdosta. I'm going to address this issue. I may not even mention the company's name. I'm definitely not going to mention anybody's name that have given me this. Okay. I want to draw their attention to the situation.
Okay.
I called a couple council members this evening, And they told me that the American Civil Liberties Union are already aware of this. They have told me that some news media outlets are already familiar with this company and these nooses that we are talking about. I'm going to go further to say, somewhere down the road, there may be a need for you to fill out an Greetings. Yes, you're right. This is George Boston Rhymes. I'm in Valdosta, Georgia. I was just hit up on Facebook with a post about a noose hanging at a business here in Valdosta, Georgia. George Boston Rhymes. This main council, main freedom of the press is very important to this nation. It is what distinguishes us among many other nations follows law. Sunday, I had no knowledge of what I'm about to talk about, what you see on those pictures over there. But Monday morning, about 9:10, I received a phone call about a local business having industrial billboard. And there was a noose displayed in the work area. And when they called me, I did what is required, and I believe what the founding fathers of this nation would be proud of. I didn't sit on it, I didn't hide it, I didn't cover it up, but I wanted to move on it in a professional manner. So as I speak about the season, I will not mention the business name, nor the people that work there, but I will say that I have interviewed people for the last 3 days who want it to be known that they were not happy in that workplace, and they did everything they could to keep from getting violent. I want to pass that on to the main council. I'm sure that some of you have already heard about it. I'm not sure if our mainstream news media will ever report it to you or the general public. But I will in a few more days. The reason I'm not going to break the news and break this story is because I want to see our mainstream news media accommodate the people that call me when they should have been calling people in my opinion who get paid for this, but I don't get paid for it. But I love this republic. I served this country for 20 years. And I do believe that we say Metro City, and when we say freedom of the press, that citizens have a right to know what is going on in their beloved communities, and in my most humble opinion, whether it be radio, TV, or whatever, should not be quiet, because when you hang a noose up, it really offends a lot of people because they have a history of the nooses and what happened to black people in this country from the year 1555 until 2019. Y'all have a nice day. Please give notice and attention to this. But I promise you, it will not be held secret by me. I'm gonna wait for them to do what they should do. But if they don't, George Boston and I get to free press. We will, because we love you just that much.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other citizens to be heard?
Greetings, I'm George Ryan with the Getto Free Press, and we see another new situation in the state of Georgia, and we see that this has been reported on the news in the state of Georgia, and it reads that an apology was issued over a ribbon showing hanged mascot, and this was a ribbon distributed prior to a football scrimmage game this month, August 2019. It showed that the opposing school mascot was hanged by a noose. And the report says Henry County School Board of Education posted a Facebook statement on Friday that said the message was unintentional. The ribbon was distributed by the Locust Grove High School and showed the McDonough High School Warhawks, that's Warhawks, struggling with a noose and the words, "Hang the Warhawks," surrounding the school image. School district says the school administrator didn't approve of the ribbon and have collected those ribbons that were distributed. Now I repeat, once again, I just was notified. I'll get more information on this, and believe me, I will publish more on social media. I want to commend the Georgia TV stations and newspapers. I don't know if the Atlanta Journal and Constitution will publish it or not. I don't know if CNN out of Atlanta or MSNBC will publish about this noose dealing with these two particular schools. that's Henry County School Board of Education, as well as the McDonough High School, the situation about these Noose ribbons, which is a mascot being distributed in a Georgia school. So I don't know if the news media will even publish this, but I can tell you one thing. There was nooses at Bathcraft in Valdosta, Georgia, displayed in the workplace. Listen, please. Displayed in the workplace, and I have interviewed 11 people concerning this noose. This is in Valdosta, Georgia, Lowndes County, and in the state of Georgia. A noose displayed in front of the United States flag. I am told that the Valdosta Daily Times, news media outlets, the city police department, I can't say if the sheriff department was notified or not, but it did happen at our industrial boulevard, out in the industrial park, where people work at other facilities. And I understand that Bathcraft provide bathtubs, et cetera, across the nation. And yet, the former employees keep telling me that nothing has been published by any local news media outlet in Valdosta, Georgia, no elected official from City Mayor John Gale and the city council members in this metro city of Valdosta, Georgia. Nothing has been published, nothing has been said publicly about it, but the employees are saying something about it. Wait a minute. Nobody on the county board of commissioners, in other words, Chairman Slaughter, and the commissioners on the commission, nobody has said anything about about a noose displayed at Bathcraft in Valdosta, Georgia. No member of law enforcement have said anything about it. Number one, nobody have said anything about an investigation. It has not been labeled a hate incident or hate crime. The former employee says that nobody have taken any steps toward an investigation. Nobody marked it as a crime scene. Nobody took the noose into custody. It is as though it never even happened. If you go to Boston G.B.R., you will see 4 or 5 videos. You will hear some of the 11 former employees talk about the disgraceful work ethics, denying them of basic rights, but that's not news to the free press in South Georgia. And so we must understand and commend WMGT 41 Georgia News for publishing about the noose up in McDonough, Henry County. We must thank all of the news media who want you, the people of Georgia, informed and not remain in a state of ignorance. It is becoming more and more apparent that the news media in Valdosta and Lowndes County is the best news that money can buy. And I can prove it. MSNBC, CNN, Nightline, 48 Hours, 53 Seconds. We have it documented of newsworthy information, especially in the black community, that never gets published. It is as if though they want to keep you deaf, dumb, and blind to the times and unable to make intelligent decisions based on facts. I also want you to understand that Valdosta and Lowndes County gives home to a federal military, federal installation, Moody Air Force Base. Yes, Moody Air Force Base. That means that our children serve in the armed forces and don't even have a free press that will republish a noose, and we all know what a noose means, especially down south and more so in Lowndes County and Brooks County, Georgia. Now, please do what you want, say what you want, but I'm only reporting this because I just was notified out of Atlanta. Somebody thought enough of me to send this to me. I guess because they had read about the nooses in Valdosta that apparently being covered up, hidden by those who were elected, allegedly, by law enforcement, allegedly, and by even the company. From what I hear, even the home office of Bathcraft have not been notified. And if they have been notified, nothing has been said about it, as if though it is of no concern to management at Bathcraft here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia. So this is the Getto Free Press. As a retired military veteran, I believe that the people of Georgia should have a right to have the news published, especially in a metro city in 2019. This is not fake news. This is real news that's being controlled, suppressed, and abated. And I believe that the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and WMGT Georgia News should publish what is happening, as has happened here in Valdosta, Georgia, that apparently somebody don't want the general public to know about. Once again, the Getto Free Press. We report what others ignore. Peace.
You've got mail. You've got mail. You've got mail. You've got mail.
Since you all talked yesterday, do you have anything else you want to share that you might not have known yesterday and you want to share for the benefit of the count? What this is nothing more than an account of what's going on, and hopefully others will step up. And before it's happened, you all met somebody else that want to talk, just talk to us.
Yes, I like I said, I still got friends that work there. So I still communicate with a lot of men and women that work there. And I don't mind being a voice for the ones who still there and the ones that gonna come along after all this. But I learned something yesterday from talking to y'all guys. Y'all gave me a lot of wisdom yesterday. So the day while I was at work, I was contemplating on the conversation we had. And one of the things that caught my attention was the noose in front of the flag. Right then, for everything that I ever done, every time I went to prison, for my acts of breaking the law, I was investigated and I was prosecuted. That particular scene, that morning when they came up, that was a crime scene. So in my mind, after communicating with y'all yesterday, my mind, I'm thinking, why wasn't authorities notified? Not saying VPD didn't do their job, not saying Lyons County Sheriff Department didn't do their job, but they never was notified. As a plant manager, as a supervisor, somebody should have called the authorities first, because that could have easily got out of hand between the cultures. Easily could have got out of hand. So authorities should have been called, because when I get out of that, I'm a forensic type of person. I watch a lot of forensic. DNA hanging right there. So you're trying to figure out who put it there. DNA is on that noose.
So from what you were telling us today that we didn't get into yesterday, this noose automatically generates some type of a hate crime.
That's right.
Or a crime scene.
That's right.
That should be investigated.
That's right.
By somebody at that company who cares about living beings enough
That's right.
to investigate, to call 911, the police, or at least his home office of the plant, to let somebody know that something ain't right here.
That's
but
right.
So nobody did that.
Nobody done that, because inside that plant, your investigation ain't gonna stand firm. Should let authority done their job, handle it the proper way. That's supposed to be in the bag. That's evidence. All that's supposed to be evidence. But it never was taken properly. It never called authority. Nobody never called authority. I get a call today, they just taking the flag down. Authority, the police, VPD, Lyons County Sheriff Officer already had this tagged and bagged as exhibit A, B, whatever they want to use it for. Because it had everything that I did wrong in my time of breaking the law, I was investigated and I was prosecuted. I feel the person who done this need to be investigated and prosecuted.
Now let me ask you a question. Why didn't you call 911 when you saw it?
I wasn't there. I quit that job July the 8th.
If you were there, would you have called?
If I was there, I would have called the police and I would have probably lost my job that day.
And you said that yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I would have probably lost my job. If I was there, I would have called the police, and 9 times out of 10, I can bank it, I would have lost my job that day. Because I wouldn't have went in there and done no work. The work part was over with when I came in and seen that. Automatically, you pose a threat to me when I see that. To me, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, you pose a threat for me, so you wouldn't have got no tub. You can't just put all your time into a tub. You got to care about the people. I wouldn't have put my hand on their tub. Authorities should have been out there handling this the proper way. It was a crime scene. Caution tape should have been up right there.
That's a good point. Now, you said that you know of other people that may come forth and talk, and I know you told me something earlier, we don't even want to touch that, about what he may have.